Now, shall I compare thee to a summer's day? I will try to explain this poem to you line by line. Shakespeare's Sonnet 18 is perhaps the most famous love poem in English literature. It is a powerful poem on the ability of art to preserve beauty through ages. Beauty in the natural world fades with time, but artists throughout all the ages have celebrated the ability of their work to catch life's most fleeting and most fascinating moments, making them unchanging and eternal in art. Sonnet 18 is a masterpiece that truly shows Shakespeare's incredible ability as a sonnet writer. It is concerned both with the beauty of the fair young man the poem addresses and the poem's ability to preserve the beauty of that fair young man in this sonnet sequence. Sonnet 18 is a poem about immortality through literature, one of the most constant themes in European Renaissance literature. And Shakespeare's capacity for mastering the structure of English sonnet with its rhyme schemes and its meter is fully illustrated in the composition of this sonnet. As Helen Vanderer says in his book, The Art of Shakespeare Sonnets, that Shakespeare's Sonnet 18 is an instance of one of Shakespeare's greatest compositional powers. It shows his capacity to confer, that is, to give greater and greater mental scope on imagination, so that the experience of reading a poem becomes the experience of pushing back the horizons of thought. Now let's see how Shakespeare dramatizes his poetic presentation of immortality through literature in this poem. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. This poem opens with a rhetorical question, a question the speaker answers himself. But the question itself sounds a little bit whimsical, suggesting a comparison that is unusual or even slightly playful in its tone. It seems as if the youth, the young man in this poem looks as lovely as a summer's day. As we all know, summer is the best season of the year in England. But summer's days in England are neither perfect nor everlasting. The weather in the summer in England is so unpredictably changeable that the comparison is found lacking, not perfect, not a great idea. It is not a great idea to compare the speaker's beloved to a summer's day in his poem. The young man in the poem is said to be even fairer, that is, more beautiful, more handsome than the idealization of summer, because summer days inevitably grow shorter and harsher as the season comes to its end. So the poem opens with a question mark: shall I compare thee to a summer's day? But the whole poem is structured as an argument made by the speaker himself in response to the question. Another interesting element in this opening is that the speaker answers the question in the negative suggesting that his beloved is more lovely and more temperate than a mere summer's day. So the question itself sounds, like something whimsical. But there is nothing whimsical in the answer. It seems as if the speaker is saying, no, thou art more lovely and more temperate than a mere summer's day. So we see an ironic twist here in the opening. The speaker is actually making an argument that the changeable, the variable, the unpredictable weather in the summer makes summer days in England a poor comparison with his beloved. His beloved is more beautiful, more handsome than a summer's day. Now let me ask you a question. What will be the acceptable answer to this question? Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Yes or no? Of course, yes. It seems very reasonable for the speaker I to compare his beloved to a summer's day because summer is the best season of the year in England. But Shakespeare refuses to answer this cliched question with more cliches. Instead, he surprises the reader with an unconventional yet still flattering response. Thou art more lovely and more temperate. So the opening line here questions the validity of poetic comparison of the beloved to a mere summer's day. It seems as if it is not a great idea for the speaker to compare his beloved to a mere summer's day. Let's see the next two lines. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's leaves have all too short a date. Rough winds, referring to the early summer storms in England, which will bring cruel grey days. Notice the use of onomatopoeia. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May. Onomatopoeia. A rhetorical device referring to the use of words which sound like the noise or the thing they are describing or presenting, such as hiss, buzz, rattle, bang, etc. Do you still remember the sound effect in line 6 of Robert Browning's Meeting at Night? As I gain the cove with pushing proud and quenches speed in the slush sand. Browning uses quite a lot sibilant sounds to imitate the frictioning sound from the bottom of the boat when it comes to its rapid stop on a sandy beach. And summer's leaves have all too short a date. Summer's leaves, here is a metaphor. A lease is an official written agreement by which the use of a building is given by its owner to somebody for a certain period of time in return for rent. And summer here is personified as a tenant taking a lease which is all too short a date. Date means duration, limited period of time here. So summer's leaves have all too short a date because summer is the best season in England. Summer is always short, and summer's leaves has all too short a date. So here we have two more reasons why summer is not a desirable comparison. In line 3, we see early summer storms bringing cruel grey days, and in line 4, metaphor of summer's leaves makes this best season seem to pass in haste, especially in England, Shakespeare's hometown. Okay, now next two lines. Sometime too hot, the our heaven shines, and often is its gold complexion dimmed. Sometime. Here, sometime means sometimes, at times, or from time to time. The our heaven refers to the sun. So the sunshine of summer days is greatly variable, changeable. Sometimes it comes on too intensive, too strong, and sometimes it is obscured by clouds. So the beauty of the sun's face is thus not to be enjoyed every day. So here again, we have two more reasons why summer is not a desirable comparison. And every fair from fair sometime declines, by chance or nature's stringent course untrimmed. Every fair from fair sometime declines. Fair, every fair, that means for every beautiful thing or every beautiful person. From fair means away from fair. Fair means beauty. Away from beauty. Every fair from fair sometime declines. Now, sometime in line 7 is different from the sometime in line 5. Here, sometime means sometime in the future. So, line 7 can be paraphrased in this way. And the beauty of every beautiful thing or every beautiful person will fade sometime in the future. By chance or nature's stringent course untrimmed. By chance means by some accident. And by stringent course, nature's stringent course means in the natural course. Untrimmed means taken away, stripped off the beauty. So the beauty can be taken away or stripped off by some accident or in the natural course. So these two lines can be paraphrased in this way. The beauty will eventually fade away from every beautiful thing or every beautiful person. In other words, the beauty or the loveliness of every beautiful thing or beautiful person can be stripped off, can be taken away, either suddenly by accident or gradually in the natural course. So here again, in these two lines, we have two more reasons why summer is not a desirable comparison. Because every beautiful thing or beautiful person will fade with time, either by accident or in the natural course. So from line 3 to line 8, each line contains a reason why summer is not a desirable comparison for the speaker's beloved. Since summer is too short a period of time, it is not a good idea for the speaker to compare his beloved to a mere summer's day. So here the idea of summer's brevity is reinforced by the speaker's use of a sequence of words suggesting the passing of a day. We have shines in line 5, dimmed in line 6, declines in line 7, and fade in line 9. But now the eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest. Here Shakespeare is saying, your eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of the beauty your summer possesses. This but invites a change, a shift at the beginning of the third quatrain. In the last two lines of the second quatrain, every fair from fair sometime declines by chance or nature's transient course untrimmed. The speaker maintains that in the physical world, everything, even beauty, slowly decays, slowly fades away. But in the third quatrain, the speaker stops comparing his beloved with a summer's day. Instead, he describes the eternity of the beauty of his beloved. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest. The speaker here asserts that his beloved possesses a beauty so deep and so enduring that it cannot be affected by time and age. It even transcends the boundary of time and age. Shakespeare's boast here echoes a sentiment common to such great poets of the European Renaissance literature as Pindar, Horace, and Ovid. Shakespeare repeats this similar self-claims to immortality frequently in his sonnet sequence. Now let's look at line 11 and 12. Nor shall death break thou wanderest in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest. Death here is personified, as if to brag that you are in his power, you are in his power. And eternal lines refers to immortal poetic lines, and at the same time the shape and beauty of the beloved. Because when the shape and the beauty of the beloved is written into poetry, he is immortal. Grows to time. Grows to means to be an organic or integral part of something. To time thou grows, that means you grow as long as time lasts. So these two lines can be paraphrased like this. Nor shall death boast his control or his possession of you when you grow with time in eternal poetic lines. Even death shall not boast that he has you in his power when you have become images of yourself in poetry. In other words, death will not boast to claim the speaker's beloved when he sees that the mortal has gained immortality through the lines of his sonnet. So long as man can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. So long as man can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this poem, and this poem will give you immortality. The poet here is giving immortality to his subject. He promises eternal beauty and youth through the existence of this poem. But I would like to emphasize that this concluding couplet actually includes a very subtle twist on the speaker's praise of his beloved. His life, or we say the life of his beloved, will be an endless summer. but only because the speaker has immortalized them in this poem. And only if people continue to read these lines of this poem, if people lose interest in reading this poem, he will not be immortal.